those kids getting paid?
What? Yeah, it's NIL.
The high school kids that are currently in the game.
No, they're fake kids.
I'm not. Or recruit.
You're going to make promises to these recruits, and they're going to transfer because you don't fulfill them.
Dusty, I'm not going to play. Bears news.
I have no idea.
Real people. Caleb signed his rookie deal. Roman Dunze also signed as rookies reported to Bears camp today.
Yeah.
We're never really worried about this.
No,
it was.
there's nothing
became
to worry
a talking
about.
point.
Yeah,
that Bears guys weren't signed.
Do you have
Right?
a question?
Right?
No.
Question mark?
I mean, no. Yeah, I mean they both got it right before the deadline. It's agenting catastrophe. Thank you. I couldn't say the word.
Difficult to
I know. I don't know. If under the current rookie salary scale, your guy doesn't get in on time. And there are a couple teams historically that have drawn really hard lines with players. The Chargers were one of them, about like offset language or whatever. But the salaries are slotted. So if this had not gotten done in time for the #1 pick of the draft, it would be a legitimate problem. But I was never worried that it wouldn't get done, and that he and Odunze both got done. And now the Bears, this is the first step to potentially going to the Super Bowl. His first predicted right here on
Wow. It's too hot.
It's not too hot.
Caleb wasn't even a top 10 quarterback.
He was ineligible.
Just like, is he ineligible?
He was ineligible.
If somebody really wanted to put him in there, they could have.
I don't know if they would have allowed him. I don't know if they would have allowed him.
No one's put him top 10.
No,
but hold on. Don't.
In the
thing
future,
is,
maybe, but
now excellent quarterbacks, their rookie year, are usually top 10 quarterbacks. Justin Herbert.
You think he will end the year as a top 10?
Herbert was a big surprise.
But I'm saying each year it happened. CJ it happened.
But who else?
I'm trying to think.
Trevor, and I'm not even.
Trevor wasn't top 10. No. Trevor wasn't top 10. Mahomes, I think, would have been. They didn't let him play.
Quarterback.
CJ Stroud is the answer. It happened a year ago.
CJ to make the playoffs. No, to make the playoffs their rookie year.
To make the playoffs their rookie year. Oh, Mac Jones.
Wow.
This guy.
Really? Is that true?
And you were arguing he was a top 10 quarterback. He was arguing it. You guys don't.
A rookie making the Pro Bowl?
You don't think Caleb Williams is going to be a top 10 quarterback this year?
Mac's out.
Bruce thinking about that Rich Gannon MVP and seeing how he can use it in this debate.
Garofalo reporting that Aiyuk has officially asked for a trade. Star wide receiver slated to make about $14 million this year, has watched the wide receiver market explode in the last 2 seasons. He's $21 million, making $21 million less than Justin Jefferson. Brandon Aiyuk's stats last 2 years actually, pretty good. Second in yards per reception, courtesy of Brock Purdy, of course, Brew. Are the 49ers in trouble if Aiyuk's trade demand is met?
Well, because look, the Niners hold all the cards. I guess Aiyuk, if he really wants to hold out, then he's got some power there.
Yeah.
Okay? But you don't see a lot of, like T. Higgins, isn't he in the same situation?
Well, except Higgins got franchise tagged, so that's a little bit different. But
they still have a year. They have Aiyuk under contract for a year.
Yep.
And then they got the possibility of the 2 franchise tags. So they really don't have to do anything. I mean, he's making a request to be traded. But does it behoove? Now, he's proven he's a great receiver. But there are a lot of receivers out there. And does it behoove him to sit out a year or at least the start of the season? What if they play well without him? So I just think that I think that this is going to be I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think he's going to be with the Niners, and I think they're going to call his bluff.
Okay.
And he'll play there. But, yeah, Aiyuk is great. So he'd be a big miss if they lose.
So here's the thing. They have the highest paid running back in the league. They have the highest paid tackle in the league. They have the second or third highest paid tight end in the league. That market might have moved slightly. And Debo makes good money for a wide receiver. Yeah. That market has moved a lot.
Who also requested a trade.
Debo requested a trade a year ago and then got his money and got it worked out. The pragmatic thing to do, especially when you are about to have to go from having your starting quarterback be roughly the 75th highest paid quarterback in football to, I assume, one of the highest, would be to recoup significant draft capital for, your second best, maybe your best wide receiver. Kind of depends on the year.
Yep.
2 years ago it was Debo. Last year it was Aiyuk.
He's healthier.
Right. But they're not going to do it because they know that as long as Brock is the quarterback, that he needs to have all the Avengers in place for them to have their best chance at success. And right now they are in a legitimate Super Bowl window, and that goes out the window, without this guy. Because forget being able to make it happen without any stars on the outside. He's going to need all of the stars on the outside and the best running back and the best tackle and the second or third best tight end. That is what's going to make this thing go. It's what has made this thing go. So I agree with Brew. The Niners are not going to trade Brandon Aiyuk because they can't afford to trade Brandon Aiyuk. While the Bills are saying, you know what? We have one legitimate receiver. We can trade him. The Chiefs can trade Tyreek Hill. We see receivers get traded. The Niners are saying, I think, are going to say, no, we can't afford to do it, even though to clean up their books and to get draft capital, they should do it. They can't because they don't have that force multiplier at the quarterback position.
And they also need to win it now. Like, if they don't win it this year, they'll be close again to whether that second round.
Star young quarterback.
No, but still, because you've been close so many times, regardless of your personnel, at a certain point you have to get over the hump. And this goes back obviously before Brock Purdy, but they've been knocking on the door for years. And Shanahan has been knocking on the door, whether it was even in Atlanta as the OC. So they have to get over the hump. So I think that's another reason they're not going to make this move. And they don't have to.
But if I'm Brandon Aiyuk.
So you going to sit out?
I would go in and be like, look, am I as good as Justin Jefferson? Probably not. Let's be honest. Am I as good as A.J. Brown? Maybe not.
No, maybe, though.
Maybe.
Might
Am
be.
I as good as Amon
I don't
Ross?
think he's quite as good as A.J. Brown.
These guys are making $30 million.
They're making more.
Jalen Wild's making 28.
Better way to put
I'm
it,
making
Wilds, is am I
14.
more than half as good?
I'm paid
half.
less than half than Jaden Waddle. Jaden Waddle makes 28.3.
Yeah.
I make 14. Bring me up somewhere. I don't need to be at Justin Jefferson.
So can I
get me at like 27?
But he's probably trying to be at that level.
Then trade me.
Pay.
Then I can't show up. I can't twist my ankle.
Hold on,
throw
Brew.
it to Debo.
That's his leverage. And if he decides he doesn't want to play, then that's what will put the Niners in a corner.
But how much? But real quick before we move on, because. And I'm not saying you're wrong about this at all. When the Eagles signed all their guys, you said, I think smartly, that if they're going to get out of the supernatural funk, part of it is people are happy. Right. AJ got his money, Devontae Smith got his money, all that. Flip side to that coin is, even if he ultimately shows up, if he skips camp, demands a trade, and then is there under protest, doesn't that immediately, if they are SBOB, if they are, trying to win right now, can't that work against you? And wouldn't you maybe be better off having that clean out of the locker room?
It depends on his attitude. I mean, we've seen, like T. Higgins, we obviously knows is not happy in Cincinnati. But what'd he say? He's going to play this year.
With an asterisk.
Yeah. But it doesn't behoove a player for you want another team to pay you. In a market where there are receivers coming into the league
but everybody gets
very
paid.
Good.
Yeah. I know. But it behooves him to be 100%
That's the
healthy.
thing that really behooves.
I'm not going to lay it on the line when you guys are paying me $14 million when I should be getting 30.
It's on Aiyuk. I mean, if he wants to make it ugly, he can, and then that could become a problem.
All right, so the question now becomes, where would Brandon Aiyuk fit? Now, some people would say you need a quarterback on a rookie deal. You need, can't go to a team with a lot of highly paid offensive weapons, and you want, a culture of winning. So a lot of people are saying New England.
Well, New England would make a ton of sense.
Let's go. I was partially joking.
New England would make a ton of sense because New England's second-round pick is basically a first-round pick. Because it'll be the first or second pick of the second round. And so you don't have to trade a first-round pick. They have the money. So same conversation, Carolina. Carolina would, if you listen, I don't think Carolina should. I might have my questions about Bryce Young. Carolina should not just give up the idea that that Bryce Young can be good. Give him a real, you know what I mean? So give him a real fighting chance. The two places that, because I don't think they're going to trade him to Detroit. If again, you and I don't think they're going to trade him, but if they were to, I don't think it's going to be to the team they played in the NFC title game.
Right.
So everyone's going to point out Steelers and the Washington because there's been connections. Two teams that would make me displeased as a Chiefs fan: the Ravens and the Chargers.
Oh.
Chargers don't have wide receivers. Now, it doesn't seem, you know what I mean? They got rid of their. I read yesterday that Justin Herbert has 208 career passing yards without Keenan Allen or Mike Williams on the field. You know what I mean? Meaning one of those guys has been on the field for his whole career.
Right.
So those two teams would be legit Ravens, right? And so I know I listed a bunch of teams.
No,
I apologize, Brew, but that's.
I wrote down Baltimore and Buffalo. I thought you were going. You're not scared of Josh Allen no more.
No, but it's also I think Buffalo is kind of resetting the salary.
Are, but they need a receiver.
You're 100% correct.
They need a receiver, but those two make sense.